Now, as I was saying, comparing Dungeons & Dragons and World of Darkness, Dungeons & Dragons, it's heroic fantasy. You're supposed to fight your way through a bunch of monsters, take a few hits, maybe more than a few, depending on your class, and, you know, you're supposed to hack and slash your way through things. But in World of Darkness, it's based on horror movies rather than high fantasy. So what...
I know we were meant to be together.
That's nice, but this isn't the right time.
Just one kiss, that's all I'm asking for.
Ah, okay.
Please, not now. My boss might catch me.
Sorry to bother you while you're busy. You think I could get a Koltova juice? That's okay.
Of course. I'm so sorry, sir.
Shot down. So I'm going to finish my point about World of Darkness here real quick. You have much less health, and the monsters do much more damage in World of Darkness because you're meant to feel much more fragile. The World of Darkness is meant to the way the mechanics are written is it's meant to
and if the holy light brings us all together,
discourage you from fighting all the time. As opposed to Dungeons & Dragons, where fighting is much more of a common solution. You're supposed to feel much more fragile and vulnerable because that's the feeling that World of Darkness is trying to create. So to connect this back to the way the characters here work, to connect it back to these video games, Dragon Quest VIII is supposed to feel, I suppose, a little more risky and a little more like classic D&D, you know, lower hit point totals. And such. But here, you're supposed to be absorbing damage. You're supposed to be absorbing a lot of damage. And doing a lot of damage in return, so the numbers are higher.
Although in Dragon Quest VIII, it's like 20-ish compared to 10.
Right.
But it's still like the same risk factor or something.
My name is Karen Era. I will be instructor and partner to both of you.
Both of us? Wait, that means... He's my partner?
I love it when this
I have
happens.
2-person teams, but we're short-handed now, so it has to be this way.
Besides, 3 people have a better chance of survival, success, than just 2.
I've been observing both of you for a while. You might be interested in my findings. Hugo Wright.
Okay, so yes.
Engaging in personal affairs while on duty is grounds for reprisal.
Yes.
And you, Ethan Weber.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been watching you since you've been on the colony, and your actions are too reckless. It's one thing to rely on yourself, but another to rely only on yourself. That's just foolish.
Huh? Wait, the colony? Hey, are you that girl that I saw?
While on duty, I expect you to use your head and think before you act.
You do realize what you're asking here.
Even though you're
He's
only
kind of a
trained, you have the
bonehead.
same responsibilities as full-fledged guardians. One wrong move can cost you your life. The life of a guardian is a dangerous one.
So,
now,
you know what would be nice if they actually
get
showed
ready
the
to move
HP
out.
total
Yes, ma'am.
on for the NPCs. Like when we had No and Do, we just saw their health bar. We didn't actually see any health numbers.
I suppose it might make it easier to keep track of healing and stuff, but anything.
Like in Kingdom Hearts, you can see their total your HP out of how many on the pause screen, but not during gameplay.
Right. Anyway, so one interesting point I want to make about character design here is Hyuga is pretty obviously Ethan's rival character, but still a friend.
And he's 17. They're all 17.
Right. So let's take a look at character design here. Ethan wears primarily white, and that's typically associated with heroic, being a heroic character. He's honest and not too bright, which fits in with just having the pure white color. He's also got the green, which is, again, more of a heroic association. Ethan also wears the big hoodie, and the jeans, and the sneakers, plus he's got those gauntlets. He's, no, we're not gonna join your party. I wonder what she says if you actually say no.
She scolds you, I think.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is just tutorial stuff. But anyway, Ethan wears very casual clothes.
Would you... because we're talking about his character, it obviously doesn't do it, but would you take him for a person that would sag?
Well, since he is not doing so right now? No. As I was saying,
I don't think it's really easy to do that in video games, though, is it?
Depends. With the way the standardized models, the way the models work in this game, it probably would be pretty difficult. Anyway, so he uses he wears very casual street clothes. This is to make him look a little more down to earth. Okay. Of course, the player character is going to lead. He also has reddish hair, which is typically a heroic trait associated with being fiery and passionate. And Ethan is, quite plainly, fiery and passionate. Now, Hyuga is meant to be a foil to Ethan, a character for Ethan to bounce off of so that we see the contrast in his personality. Okay, so yeah, this is where we go. This is our prep period. We get to buy equipment, etc., whatever we need before we go to the flyer base and go do the mission. So as I was saying, Hyuga is Ethan's foil. He's there to make Ethan's character traits stand out by counteracting them. So Ethan is, he's a pretty casual person. He's very down to earth. He's very passionate. Hyuga, on the other hand, wears much more refined-looking clothing. He wears clothing with with straighter lines, more stiff-looking in some places.
Geek-ish?
Not quite. What I'm going for here is refined. He's supposed to counteract Ethan. His refined sensibilities are a foil to Ethan's rough and tumbleness. Hyuga also has white hair, which is typically, and this is especially an anime thing, you see this a lot in Japanese media, it's very much a pretty boy kind of trait, which Ethan would probably kill somebody, not kill, but he would punch them in the face if they described him as a pretty boy. On the other hand, Hyuga is very much one of those kinds of characters. His hair is also much more, coiffed and gelled than Ethan's is. Like Ethan, his hair looks like he just rolled out of bed. He probably doesn't care all that much. Hyuga, on the other hand, probably spends a good half hour to an hour every morning making sure his haircut is perfect.
Well, let's see. So, as you guys know, there are chats in this game. Bubble chats, the characters say, and battle chats.
Right.
When Hyuga gets burned, with a burn status effect, my beautiful face. Yep,
he's also rather vain. This is in contrast to Ethan just basically not caring. Also, notice here, Hyuga wears purple. Purple is a color typically associated with nobility or royalty. Again, this is to contrast Ethan. Ethan wears very straight-laced kinds of colors. It's a very simple outfit. Hyuga has a much more elegantly designed outfit, and he wears noble colors. Again, this is to contrast the two. What makes this really interesting to me is there's this trope in Japanese media, although you see it in other places, which is a reference to Japanese mythology. A lot of people refer to it as red Oni versus blue Oni. Now, Oni are ogres in Japanese mythology that have...
I think that's the name of a Yu-Gi-Oh monster.
Yeah.
Umi or something.
Yeah. But the Oni they're ogres, trolls, savage humanoids that are typically very boisterous and like to fight. They like to fight, they like to drink. The way this trope works is red Oni are associated with being much more hot-headed and impulsive, whereas blue Oni are a bit more... They're much more cool and collected, much more intellectual. They are often paired off because they complement each other and keep each other in check. This is often used as a characterization thing in in particular in Japanese media. And in this example, Ethan is our red Oni, Hyuga is our blue. This is reflected by the fact that Ethan has warmer colors in his color scheme, as you can see by his shoes, his gauntlets, and his hair. And Hyuga has cooler colors, once again, his jacket, primarily. Is there a reason we're staring at her, or...?
Well, I thought you wanted to describe her, talk about her too.
Not just yet. I'm still mostly focusing on Ethan and Hyuga. And again, the two balance each other out, like red Oni and blue Oni. Sorry, that's kind of my rant for this session. Because I was actually thinking about it before we got into this, and I thought it would be just something.
It looks like the engine's still running.
You remember how in Arc the Last One Experience, the characters from the Deimos and the human side of the family each share 8 stats?
Kinda, yeah.
Like Karg and Delma have the same HP, Maroon and Camellia have the same HP.
I feel like that was just lazy programming in this case.
So what is it?
They all share the same HP and defense and whatever across one another.
I drink the juice.
I don't know, I wonder why did it make it unique.
What planet are you from? Don't you know the uglier the Kotova, the more succulent its meat is?
Well, then
Like, for example,
juicy
Gans and Volk
Kotova.
also share the same HP. Level 35, they both have 394.
It might have been meant to draw parallels between them.
That's right.
You mean like Gans and
Are you a
Volk both being
resident here?
tanks?
Yeah, kind of.
I thought,
And having similar characteristics.
I thought it might be like laziness or something. Because they didn't want to take the time to...
It could be either one, really.
Strangely.
Yes, they've become very edgy and aggressive. When they attacked, we hid in a cargo
Like
container.
Karg...
But they don't know where Kalama
Karg,
is.
Delma, just going by HP, Karg, Delma have the same, Paulette and Dark have the same, Maroon, Camellia have the same, Gans and Volk have the same, and Babadora and Tatjana have the same HP level growth.
You see, I was hired to help around the farm. But Mr. Rhyme was killed during the seed attacks.
Oh, that's,
Kalam and I have been protecting the farm ever since.
Samson is the same as Paulette in
Even
HP.
if it happened, Kalam, I don't know
I
what
think
to
Denson
do.
will go to Vulcan Gans.
Don't worry. We'll do everything we can. We'll keep an eye out
Not
for
sure.
him.
Diak Beck and
I'm sure he'll
Choco
turn
go.
up.
I don't know.
Ah,
Anyway,
Thank you for your kindness. Thank
so
you.
we need to go find this guy, Kalam. And it's just these two managing what appears to be a very large farm. Which is kind of impressive, actually. Okay, so there's our little checkpoint more there, and off we go. Okay.
I just wish that this game didn't have the stupid AI following glitch.
Oh, yeah. Well, it happens.
I don't know what it is. I mean, they follow you okay, and then all of a sudden...
So, one of the other interesting design things, he says as he just beats it down without even looking at it. Anyway, one of the interesting design things here is, that, well, just look at the character levels. Karen, who is a much more experienced Guardian, has several levels on Ethan and Hyuga. And because Ethan and Hyuga are roughly at the same level in story. They share the same level, and this is reflected in when as they level up with you in game. And in between missions as well. Oh, right, I was just wondering, that disc you got from the last mission, that's for Twin Sabers, isn't it? Okay. It's also worth noting that even character weapon choice can be a an indicator of characterization.
Speaking of weapon choice, I wonder how they chose the weapons for the NPCs, because they're fixed.
Again, it's a characterization tool.
No, like, I mean, that's a 2-star saber, and they didn't give him, like, an S-rank saber.
Probably for balance reasons.
Yeah,
but it's also visual design, because it looks different from what an S-rank saber would look like. And he uses that particular design of saber because, and it's a narrower blade than what Ethan has, implying refinement and precision.
That's because of the element.
Well, again, it implies precision and refinement over Ethan's wider blade, which is more meant. Well, again, these are made of photons.
Well, it's actually not wider. It's just that the green effect, the green glow, is more. This is the neutral. Hyuga's and Karen's are ice.
Right. And again, it's the blue symbolism. Hyuga uses blue weapons, because he's the blue Oni, to Ethan's red.
And then unfortunately, I don't know why, but for the online versions, they do like crappy damage. The NPCs, like, they'll like do zero.
That's to encourage you to play online with other players.
Like they'll do zero, like, for example, Maya.
Hey, a weapon!
Like, for example...
Hey, actually is better than our current weapon.
Like, for example, Maya Shido, a future character we'll meet, can do, like, almost 100 damage at level... when she's at level 4, when network mode was still on. But at level 1 here, or level 4 here, she does 0 damage.
Yeah. There we go, Rising Strike level 6. So yeah.
And it used to be like that online too, where they patched it up, so it makes me believe that it was HP
level up!
Plus 19, attack plus 7, accuracy plus 1, technique points plus 4, defense plus 1, evasion plus 1, and mental plus 1.
I'm pretty sure we can all read.
But anyway, considering that they patched it in the online version shortly after online became available, I'm guessing it's a bug.
Maybe. If it was a conscious design decision, it probably was to encourage people to play with other players online.
But even so, they should still be able to do some damage. At later levels, they can't do any damage.
Then you're right, it probably was a bug. It probably was a bug or something.
Like, in Phantasy Star Ambition of the Illuminus on offline, the damage still sucks, but the following bug was fixed there. But then in Phantasy Star Portable, they are able to do damage no matter how low in rank the weapon is. Like Leo with like the spears online can do like upwards of 1,000 damage with the photon art. And here it's only like 500.
Huh. So, oh right, we didn't actually go over elements yet, even though we talked about the weapons being elemental.
There's fire, ice, lightning, ground, dark, and light.
Yep, and each one is color-coded. So weapons that have the green photons, like our basic saber there, are elementally neutral. I'm not going to use the handgun.
I hardly ever use them on melee-type characters.
Okay. While fire is, of course, red, and ice is blue. Then you have lightning, which is yellow, earth is orange, I believe light element is pink, even though you never see that on...
It's brownish.
Brownish pink. It's distinct from the earth color, at least. Which is like an orangey brown.
The dark is purple, violetish.
Yep.
Yeah, they have a chat for everything, like the leader stuff there.
Yeah.
And
but they never actually like follow through on it, which is kind of disappointing. And they'll contradict themselves in like...
Oh, and this is a leader symbol. The crown.
Yeah. And then the red sword icon means they have stronger attack, and the blue shield, stronger defense.
Yep.
So we're gonna head back. We're gonna backtrack really quick because there's items to be found.
Why do they even have those chats that are just gonna contradict each other? Leave the leader to me. Save the leader for later.
It's... Admittedly, those two aren't particularly necessarily self-contradictory, but...
They're not? Leave the leader to me. Save the leader for later.
You missed an item back there.
They're not.
Because it could be just, I'll deal with the leader right now, you guys finish off the rest of them so that we can take the leader out together. That kind of thing. But the point stands, they will contradict themselves.
Bring them down one by one. How's that helpful? It's more helpful to take them all, defeat more than one at a time, isn't it?
Generally. So by focusing your efforts on a single enemy, you can actually, focus them down quicker than you could if you were just trying to deal tons of damage to tons of enemies all at once. But, anyway, they're there to make the NPCs feel a bit more real. You know, supposed to immerse you in the game a bit more. Unfortunately, they tend to...
Is this the only game of chats? Or the only series?
That do that? No, not at all. NPC chatter is not a new concept, and it wasn't one that was introduced in this game.
And if they're actually, for games that have NPC chatter, are there actually ones where they actually follow through with what they say?
Yes. This is especially noticeable in more modern military shooters. Your NPC allies will tell you what they're doing so that you can plan around them. This is especially not even in military shooters. Left 4 Dead.
I have cute enemy chats too.
Yep. Cute enemies.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. But in, Left 4 Dead, characters will shout, reloading when they actually are reloading. So you know to give them cover fire. Your character will also say it when you reload automatically, so that even if you're not playing, even if you're playing online without a voice chat or any kind of chat, other players will know, oh yeah, I should cover them while they're reloading. The player characters will also call out enemies that show up. They'll call out when they see a smoker or a hunter.
Like, a culty has appeared?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, admittedly, it's a bit more important in Left 4 Dead that they call out Smoker, rather than, oh hey, look at that little thing over there. And they won't.
At least they take that. Those are kind of following through.
Yeah, that's just battle banter. None of their advice is actually really all that useful.
And finally in the current era, she has HAA exclamation part and HAAA, 3 A's. She's got 2 A's and 3 A's. I don't know what the difference is, really.
There isn't one? The only difference is 1 A. That's it. I don't think anybody else really cares about that.
I like NPCs. Call me crazy, I don't care.
Well, you tend to analyze things really heavily.